A difficult story to read today. Terrebonne Parish Sheriff's Office says the teen was shot twice, raped, and burned. The girl's mother and her boyfriend are suspects in this case.
Lily Cummings was in Terrebonne Parish this evening and has new details about the mother's previous convictions.
She's an incredible young lady to be able to encounter what she went through and be able to tell our detectives what happened.
With emotion in his voice, Terrebonne Parish Sheriff Tim Saunier provided details about a gruesome case that crosses state lines. Last month, his department was notified of a child abuse case that may have gone undiscovered if not for a car wreck. The accident happened on I-10 eastbound in Baytown, Texas, about 300 miles away from Thibodaux. Baytown police say 41-year-old Terrence Washington was driving recklessly and was armed. 40-year-old LaTanya Harris was in the passenger seat. Her two daughters, ages 10 and 15, were also in the car. The police say that the 15-year-old was suffering from gunshot wounds and severe burns to more than 30% of her body.
Detectives learned that mid-February 2024, the juvenile female was burned after LaTanya Harris had learned of a sexual assault committed on the juvenile by her fiance, Terrence Washington. Harris burned the juvenile with flammable liquid in a lighter at the Thibodaux residence.
When detectives searched the family's home behind me here, they say they not only found evidence that a gun was shot inside the home, but they also documented a strong odor of infection and decomposing flesh. The sheriff says the girls were homeschooled, which may have been why the abuse went unreported for so long. The sheriff says Harris and Washington denied her medical care, and now they face a laundry list of charges. WWL Louisiana obtained court records that show Harris pled guilty to child desertion in 2017. At the time, the court ordered her to, among other things, complete a parenting class.
It will shock you.
Joe Waits says in his nearly 28 years as district attorney, he's never seen anything this horrific.
Will we ever get justice for this person? I don't think that we can. The parts of her body that she's lost, the horrific mental and physical scars that she'll endure for the rest of her life.
Washington is in Texas being held without bond for crimes there. Harris is in Terrebonne Parish Jail being held on a $1 million bond. In Terrebonne Parish, Lily Cummings, WWL Louisiana.
Story out of Thibodaux, Louisiana. You know, the sheriff down there, they had a press conference. And I can't remember the last time I seen a sheriff getting choked up like that. The details of this case is really, really horrific. And I think the only thing that caught them is that traffic accident that I'm going to discuss in this story. But I think God stepped in and saved that young lady. The Terrebonne Parish Sheriff's Office held a news conference Thursday to discuss arrests made in a case described as an attempted homicide and torture of a teenager out of Thibodaux. The sheriff issued a news release on Wednesday announcing that Terrence Washington and LaTanya Harris were arrested in connection with the investigation. The sheriff said on April 21, their office was contacted by the Baytown, Texas Police Department regarding a crash that happened in their area. According to the sheriff, Baytown officers responded to a crash on I-10 East. The driver, identified as Washington, had a gun and was taken into custody. That is when the sheriff said police found the 15-year-old girl who was badly burned and shot in the chest and face. The sheriff said the couple, who were identified as the girl's mother and the mother's boyfriend, had intentionally burned and shot the teen. The Baytown Police Department confirmed that Harris, 40 years old, of Thibodaux, and Washington, 41, of Thibodaux, along with the minor child, were taken into custody in connection with the crash and discovery of the teen. The teen was taken to a Houston hospital to be treated for her injuries. Harris was also taken to a hospital for treatment of injuries she got in the crash. And when Washington was questioned, he admitted to Baytown officers that he had shot the teen and sexually assaulted her over the course of several months, according to the release issued by the sheriff's office. Washington told police after the shooting the family left for Texas. A 10-year-old girl who was with the family was interviewed by deputies. The sheriff said the child told them during Mardi Gras that she woke up several times to her mother setting the teen on fire with a bottle of rubbing alcohol and a lighter. Damn! Yeah, there's gotta be a lot of mental illness going on in this family. Well, not the whole family, just her crazy ass and the boyfriend. I can't understand this one. But I guess you can't understand it when you're not in those person's shoes mentally. They're sick in the head. They need to be on some medication. Now continuing, the child told detectives that the teen was shot on 2 different days and was left untreated while the family traveled to Texas. A search warrant was then executed at the family's home, where detectives said they found evidence that a weapon had been shot inside the home, blood as well as smells of decomposing flesh. Man, that young girl's flesh was decomposing? Can you imagine the state she was in? I can't imagine it. I mean, you think about it, that's why that sheriff was choked up like that. He couldn't believe what he was saying. He said he spent, 20 years in the military and never seen anything like that. Now, if these people are convicted, they're going to get probably 100 years in prison. Man, I can't believe this. Now, the deputies with the TPSO traveled to Baytown to interview Washington, where he admitted that the shooting happened on April 19th. He claimed that the gun he was holding went off and shot the teen in the face. Really? Okay, but you left her untreated. If it was an accident, first thing you do is call 911 or take her to the hospital. So that's some bullshit right there. The sheriff's office said Washington reported that Harris burned the teen after learning about the sexual abuse. Wait a minute, hold on a second. She burned her daughter, why she didn't burn his ass? That's a damn minor. She should have burned him. See what I'm saying? This is crazy. According to Washington, Harris treated the teen's burns at home and did not seek medical attention. Harris was released from a hospital on May 9th and returned to Terrebonne Parish. She was brought in for questioning but refused to speak with detectives, according to the sheriff. Harris was arrested and faces charges of attempted second-degree murder, cruelty to a juvenile, and domestic abuse, battery, child endangerment. She remains in the Terrebonne Parish Criminal Justice Complex, where she is being held on a $1 million bond. An arrest warrant has been issued for Washington, who remains in jail in Texas. Now, Washington will be transported back to Louisiana and faces charges of 2 counts of attempted first-degree murder, second-degree cruelty to a juvenile, obstruction of justice, molestation of a juvenile, 3 counts of indecent behavior with a juvenile, and 5 counts of second-degree rape. You know, the justice system is not going to take it easy on people who do this to minors, and they shouldn't. They should get prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Yeah, I hope the young lady makes a full recovery, but I know mentally she's gonna have a lot of problems for years to come. Now, they're saying that the 10-year-old, because you remember it was a 10-year-old and a 15-year-old. The 15-year-old is the one that was assaulted and burned and all that stuff. But the 10-year-old was transported back to Louisiana by a family member. So hopefully the 15-year-old, after she recovers, hopefully make a full recovery, she'll be with that family member. And hopefully they'll have no contact. They'll have no contact with the mother. Well, you guys take it easy, and I'll talk to you later.